Assalamu alaikum everybody. Welcome to Tuesday. आजकल मैं आप लोगों को हर रोज बताऊंगी कि क्या क्या दिन है, क्योंकि आई गेस हर दिन संडे की तरह लग रहा है. So आज हमारे साथ एक बहुत important guest है. Her name is Dr. Patrice Khan. She is a PhD, a psychologist, and she runs a private practice in Karachi where she resides. And why is she here today with us? वो हमारे साथ इसलिए हैं ताकि वो हमें सिखा सके how we can be in control of our well-being, how we can reduce our stress. So without further delay, I'm going to invite Dr. Patrice into the stream. And ये भी मैं बताती चलूं कि आज का सेशन primarily English में है. So please bear with us, and we'll do a translated version for you soon. Okay, so welcoming Dr. Patrice. Hello, Dr. Patrice. How are you?
Good. Thank you, Rabia. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much for honoring us with this pleasure of having you here.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Patrice, I mean, you don't need any introduction. There's so many accomplishments in your cap. Clinical counseling psychology. And how long have you been residing in Karachi?
Well, I lived here for about 5 years back in 2013. And then I went back to the US, and then I came back 2 years ago.
And I know a lot of people that I am acquainted with are a part of your Meditative Circle.
Yes, so I do. That's a specialty that I do, is to teach people how to meditate and how to manage their stress. And so inside of that, it's about what are you doing with your thoughts? What are you doing with your feelings? What are you doing? How are you managing your physiology when you're under stress? So I teach them a lot of the physiology behind stress and what it does to our bodies, and then obviously how to alleviate it.
And I believe you also teach a lot of breathing exercises.
Yes, so that is part of the stress. That is part of dealing with stress. Part of it is about breathing and about focusing, and I'll teach you that today. But also a major part of it is about what are you feeling. And so it's about being able to navigate through these stressful emotions and not staying stuck in, worry, fear, anger, guilt, anxiety, and then, how to flip the switch over to other feelings like appreciation and joy and peace and calm.
Because, so the group that I was talking to about you earlier, Special Needs Pakistan, we are basically a family who network, because either we have differently abled or specially abled children, siblings, parents, friends, families, and then there are other individuals who are on this group primarily to gain information of how to raise awareness and be an inclusive society, because that is one of the things we really lack here in Pakistan, inclusivity. Mm-hmm. And so mothers and families on a daily basis are under a lot of stress, management of stress, management of guilt. Am I doing this right? Am I doing enough? And I think these kind of stresses and guilts are there for every new mother, every mother, but it's a little heightened over here. And hence I thought that you are a wealth of treasure for us, because one of the things I'm being a mother too, lack to do is take out time for ourselves.
Yes.
And so how important is self-care, do you think?
Oh, I mean, it's your lifeline, right? If your cup is not full, there's no way you can fill somebody else's cup. And so, it's exactly why they say, when you're flying on a plane, if they run into turbulence and those oxygen masks come down, you have to put yours on first before you put it on for your child. I mean, it's as important as that. It's a lifeline to be able to really fill and nurture your cup, and before you can help someone else. And I know when I say that sometimes people say, you have no idea, I have no time, and so time is a big, huge factor. And what I would say to that is that's why I teach one these techniques, because inside of what I'm going to show you today is that you are able to do this with your eyes open or your eyes closed, or you can do it in the moment, right in the moment of when you're feeling stressed or whatever it is you're doing with your parent or your child or your sibling that's really triggering because these are the triggers we experience on a daily basis. And so when you're able to, in that moment, start to really bring in the techniques and use it, you start to empower yourself and you calm the whole situation down.
And does this work for individuals experiencing anxiety also?
Absolutely. That's one of the major things. It's for anxiety, anger, fear, worry, doubt, guilt, any of these, emotions that are going on inside of us. Because once you're feeling an emotion that's negative, what's happening is that your thoughts are also going into a negative cycle. And so therefore you want to be able to break that cycle, because that just goes round and round and round, and you start spiraling down, and then the guilt sets in, because maybe you reacted in a bad way. In terms of, when I say bad, I mean, like, maybe you yelled or shouted or screamed at whoever, and then the guilt sets in. You have to recuperate from that and bring yourself back into the moment, bring yourself back into, like, being here present now, loving yourself deeply, and knowing that you're doing the best that you can, in that moment. But now you're going to have a tool that's going to help you deal with it, so that you don't have to walk around for the whole rest of the day talking about it or thinking about it and continuing to spiral yourself down into a negative cycle.
Now, we as women, I mean, I know a lot of men who are watching us here don't necessarily delve into hormonal imbalances. How important are the imbalance of hormones that really, really trigger all these um, anxiety and stress for women?
Hormones are key. They're a really strong key element. So here's the cycle. What happens? You have a thought. The thought then produces a hormone. That hormone is, if you're having, say, a negative thought, so the negative thought will
Right.
produce a hormone, say cortisol, and the cortisol then triggers a feeling in the body. So the cortisol is triggering, how you feel, whether you're probably going to worry or fear or doubt or anxiety. And then from that produces your behavior. So when you're feeling that, you've had the thought, you've had the hormone, now you have this feeling, then your behavior might be one of, like, either I shut down, or I cry, or I scream or yell or hit or whatever. Those are the reactions. So you want to be able to break that cycle of when the thought starts and the hormones, because they're key. They're everything inside of our bodies. And when you have this pattern going round and round, this is where the habit comes in, and this is the knee-jerk reaction we have when we're dealing with stress or triggers. We go into that knee-jerk way of, responding. So we want to be able to stop that, break the cycle.
And especially now, under lockdown, under the coronavirus pandemic, there are a lot of people who are not being able to reach out to their therapists, are not being able to come to the meditative circle, and they are experiencing regression because they are not being able to practice that as energetically or as they would in routine if this pandemic wasn't there. Now, there's usually a link. Um, it's scientifically proven that a lot of people eat too much, not because they're hungry. It's just because they want to, fill their satisfaction of eating. And so, even when we are in a situation where we are dealing with something, a lot of therapists and counselors say, well, take yourself in that moment and just breathe for 10 seconds, and your emotions will dissipate a little bit. So how does, in the realm of like being really angry or in the moment, how does one really, take that opportunity to calm themselves immediately?
So first of all, I think it's important to, you have to take the time, and it takes practice, because when you're in the heat of the moment, you have to then remember, I do have a tool. I do know how to deal with this. So you're learning to break the cycle, right? So and so it's about patience, as you're learning to do this. But it is important, really, at that point, to then start to breathe. And the breathing that I'm talking about, it's a little bit different to what other people will say. And what I'm sharing with you is scientifically validated, okay? It's used in hospitals, and doctors use it and whatnot. So all of this has been, there are over 300 peer-reviewed journal articles on this. So what we're doing now is we are working with the heart, because there's an electromagnetic field around the heart, which is 40 to 60 times more powerful in amplitude than the brain. And so when you're in that triggered moment, you're in your head, you're thinking, and you're reacting. Okay. You want to be able to bring that level of awareness down to the area of the heart and tap into the electromagnetic field around the heart. And so you're doing this by breathing. So you're bringing your awareness and attention to the heart, and then imagining that you're breathing into the area around the heart and out. And that's the first step. And that is going to help to calm down your physiology. It's going to calm down your nervous system. It's going to calm down your brain thought pattern, and it's going to calm down your hormonal, the production of the cortisol in your body. And so we want to bring that down to as minimal as possible, because when you do that, then you're able to think more clearly, and you're able to come up with a better response in that given situation.
I think my heart rate is already going. It's reducing. The rate is becoming slower. So, Dr. Patrice, I'm just gonna give you the floor. Imagine I'm not here, and please tell us what you are teaching us today.
Okay, so I just explained the first part, right? So you're bringing your awareness and attention from the racing mind, okay? The overactive thoughts, the negative thoughts, the things that are, the trigger that has triggered you into that negative mode. And you're bringing your awareness and attention into the area of the heart, right in the center of your chest. And so that's the first step, it's heart focus. So you think of it as just heart focus. And then the second step is you're breathing into the heart. So you're breathing into the area around the heart and breathing out. Okay. And that's what you're doing. So you're just really finding that rhythm. You're anchoring yourself in the area of the heart. And then the third step would be that you want to be able to bring in a positive feeling, like a positive emotion. So it might be a feeling of peace or a feeling of calm. And, you want to breathe that frequency, that energy, that feeling into our area around the heart, and breathe it out. So that's what the whole process is. And that's one of the first steps that I teach people. And this is what you're going to be walking away with today, because we're going to practice. And what I want to say about this, the beauty of this is that, again, and I can't emphasize this enough, is that you can do it with your eyes open, or you can do it with your eyes closed. And so no matter where you are or what is going on, you can just go ahead and breathe into the area around the heart, breathe out. Even if you just did that one step, that will that will calm down your nervous system. And then to add to it would be bringing in a positive feeling. But if you're in the heat of the moment, you can't necessarily jump from feeling angry to feeling calm or peaceful, right? It's sort of a process. So you may want to just start with the breathing in and breathing out. And then once you can feel that, then you want to bring in the feeling. So you might think of a feeling of being calm or a feeling of being peaceful. So would you like to practice that?
Yes, please.
Okay. So would you like to do it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes? What's
Whatever you think.
Okay.
Is gonna make
Okay.
me a peaceful person right now.
Okay. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to have you now close your eyes. Okay. And I want you to just feel yourself sitting on this chair or wherever you're sitting right now in this moment in time. And allow your body to feel the support of this, just anchoring yourself, getting present to yourself right inside of your body. And just allowing yourself to feel that and become aware of your breath. Become aware of your chest as it's rising and falling. And I want you to bring your awareness, your thoughts, I want you to bring that from your head to your heart. So your heart being right in the center of your chest. And I want you to just become aware of your heart. The heart is about the size of your fist in the center of your chest. And just see if you can just connect with it. Just connecting with your heart. You might visualize it, you might imagine it. And I want you now to breathe into the area around the heart. So imagine that that air is just going into the area around the heart and out very gently. Just breathing in and breathing out. And if thoughts come in, that's okay. Just whenever the thought comes in, just very gently let it go and allow yourself to just focus on the heart and breathe into the heart and breathe out. And just keep breathing in and breathing out. Just keep focusing on your heart and breathing in and breathing out and just settling in a little bit deeper into the heart area. And now what I want you to do is I want you to bring in a feeling, a positive feeling. This could be a feeling of calm or peace or love or appreciation. Just allow yourself to feel that feeling as you're breathing into the heart and breathing out. So allow yourself to focus and just continue to feel that feeling as you're breathing in and breathing out. Feeling your body relaxing even more. And just continuing to focus on the heart, breathing in that feeling. And allowing yourself to feel that feeling. That is a very important part. Just allow yourself to let go and feel that feeling. And if you can't feel it, imagine what it would feel like to be really calm or to be peaceful or to feel the joy. Whatever that feeling is, imagine what that is like and bring that in even more powerfully. Receiving the feeling. Just opening up the heart and receiving that feeling. Continuing, again, if thoughts are coming in, let them go. Just keep receiving that feeling. Just Continuing to feel that, opening up your heart space even more. And you can even take that feeling that you're having now and send that to the rest of your body, allowing it to go all the way down your body, down to the tips of your toes, allowing it to go across your chest, down to your arms, to the tips of your fingers, allowing it to go from your heart up your neck into your brain, into the front part of your brain, the mid part of your brain, the back part of your brain, and into your face. And you can send that heart feeling from your heart to those people that you love. Just allowing that to go from your heart to their heart. Connecting with the heart. It's a powerful connection. And just enjoying. And when you're ready, you can gently bring your awareness and attention back. Take your time and gently bring your awareness and attention back. Right? You can gently open your eyes, but take your time. There's no rush.
I'm feeling a mix of emotions.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I'm feeling a mix of emotions.
Yeah? Do you want to say more?
Um, I think for me, I have I have practiced this many a times, but um, today, what I experienced today was I was very heavy inside my head. And when you said that, use your heart as an anchor, use your midriff as an anchor, I felt like the heaviness first, it was so heavy from my head. Like I could feel like it going down into my shoulders and then resting on my chest. And it stayed here with me, stayed right here in the center line, right here. And because I was following your voice very, very closely, there was a point when you said, "Okay, now let it ease out and go into the rest of the body. Let it go to the rest of your fingertips, to your toes, and then eventually you said, let it go to your head, your brain, and let it occupy all the space." I just felt that it was like it circulated and it brought so much of ease, like as if it almost lifted weight off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And I do feel that my chest was like widening, even though, I mean, I hope I didn't widen on the screen, but I could feel it like widening.
Yes, that's your electromagnetic field. Okay, and that's powerful. It's invisible, but it's extremely powerful. And because we can't see it, we think it doesn't really exist, but it's here, it's all around us. And you're tapping into that energy, that frequency. And that's the all knowing, that's the powerful, that's the presence.
Um, if I may, Dr. Patrice, there are a couple of questions. So,
Yes.
if, with your permission, ask you. Um, Somebody asked, why is it hard to breathe with focus?
Why is it hard to breathe when you're focusing?
Mm-hmm.
When you're focusing on your heart?
I guess when you're trying to focus on something, why is it difficult to breathe? So I don't think it was particularly this exercise, but in general, if you're trying to focus on something, I guess I think she's asking more in terms of in a stressful situation. If you're trying to focus and your chest sort of tightens and it becomes difficult to breathe. That's what I understand of this.
Sure, because when people get stressed, your body constricts, right? And so therefore, all of that inside of you starts to constrict, and it becomes harder to breathe. And that's why we go into this shallow breathing. And so we don't breathe, we don't fully breathe. And that's when we actually need to breathe even more fully, because we want to open up, because, and so that we're not constricting, we want to expand, because in the expansion, we're allowing information, we're allowing energy, we're allowing, more to come in. So that's why it's a shallow breathing response.
Another thing is, are there any other than drinking water? Is there something that can help us set a space for meditative practice?
Set a space in terms of time.
I think we're trying to organize their space.
So, a lot of people, sometimes they have a corner in their house that is kind of a sacred space, and they can use that. Some people, it's, just finding some little, something that you create that might be your space. I don't, everybody has different home situations and environments of how to do that. And I think even more, because there have been times when I've had guests, okay, and I've gone into the bathroom and I would sit on the bathroom floor and meditate, because there's just so much going on. So I think the point of it is more that you find some place where you could just close the door, even if it's for 5 minutes or even 3 minutes, just so that you could just close the door and have that moment for yourself. So obviously there are beautiful things, like you can create a nice space in your house, a corner, any of those things, and bring things that make you feel good, if it's a candle or a special book or a plant or a flower or something, a picture that creates it. It's what makes you feel good. Because if you notice, when I talk about bringing in the feeling, which is a major part, because when you bring that feeling is what's changing the hormonal pattern in the body. So whatever you do, it's about, how do I create that feeling? And whatever that will do, whatever visuals or space that will help you create that, that's where you want to be.
And I think this already answers our third question, which was that if my kids are surrounding me and harassing me, how do I do this? And you've answered that really well, that you can create your space anywhere.
Yes, and I want to add one more thing to that. I want to say is that teach your children this technique. This technique, I used to teach this to kindergarten students, and there even preschool students learn this. All you need to do is to put your hand on your child's heart and tell them, breathe into my heart. Show them where the heart is. And you practice that with them. Make it a ritual. Make it a bedtime ritual, depending on your child or whoever, has that special need. But start teaching them, because that will help to calm down their nervous system. And also your nervous system gets calm. You could do it as a bedtime ritual if you have a little child and they can follow you. Put your hand on their heart, have them do this. Or if your family is a sort of that can do this together, sit down even for 5 minutes and have everybody talk. They could say something that they appreciate. So when you talk about appreciation, which is a huge power tool, you get them to talk about something they appreciate. That brings up a feeling, and then have them close their eyes and teach them, put their hands on their heart and start to meditate, start breathing into the heart and breathing out, and bringing in that feeling of appreciation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Patrice. This was really informative and such valuable information. If I may ask you, you just mentioned that teach this technique to your kids. And you said use it at bedtime. do you think bedtime is a better time to do it as opposed to morning, or one could do it at any time?
Actually, morning or night is the best time to do it. But, and so bedtime means that they're going off into sleep. So this is going to help them reset their nervous system, to recalibrate it, to help calm it down. In the morning, it's a beautiful time to do it because you're setting the tone for the day. Okay. During the day, if there's a meltdown of some sort, that's a time when you can get together and, after the meltdown, obviously, and then just start to breathe in and breathe out, and so you want to recalibrate the system back into balance.
Got it. Thank you so much, Dr. Patrice, for joining us and spending your noon with us. The thing is that there's one last question, is that there are a lot of restless children. A lot of children have ADHD, autism, ADD, sensory processing disorders, auditory processing disorders.
Mm-hmm.
How can we meditate or teach a child who is very restless to meditate when it's hard for them to sit still or concentrate?
It's a great question. And in fact, where all of these studies come from is called from the Institute of Heart Math. And they've done actual studies with students who have all of these sorts of issues and actual live studies with them. And their attention deficit disorder came down, the hyperactivity subsided. And so it can be done. And so that's why I'm saying it's important to really start to teach them about the heart and breathing in the heart, breathing out, and starting to really access that. Even if, and you can even do this, like I said, do it with your eyes open if they can't close their eyes, if that's difficult, even for 1 minute. And you start with 1 minute. And then as they start to do it, they start to, and ask them, how do you feel? And so, you encourage them. And so then you're able to then teach them maybe a minute and a half. So start where they're at. And then you can start to build little by little with this. And if you go onto the Institute, if you go onto heartmath.org website, there's a lot of information, free information there for children and families, and that you can access that I think would be really, really powerful.
Great. Thank you so much. Any last words of advice for all of us stress mongers who have received such a great meditative session with you today?
I think, always going back to the feeling of appreciation. Appreciation really starts to bring the heart in, and finding something to appreciate in any given moment and focusing on that. And that helps to shift stress for a lot. So it's a very, very appreciation, gratitude. It's very, very powerful.
Thank you so much. And if, post pandemic or during the pandemic, if somebody would like to reach out to you, how can they do so?
My email is patrice@patricekhan.com. And also you have my WhatsApp number. so they can get that through you. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Dr. Patrice.
You're so welcome. Such a pleasure and a joy to be here today.
The pleasure was all mine. And thank you so much once again for all your time.
You're welcome.
I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Take care of yourself. So that was Dr. Patrice, and oh my God. The thing is कि हम जो वो कह रही थी और जो वो कर रही थी, उसके लिए कोई भी लैंग्वेज हो, कुछ भी हो, it's all the same. क्योंकि जिस तरह जो उनकी लहजा था, जो उनका टोन था, जिस तरह वो एकदम से उनकी इतनी कामिंग वॉइस थी, और मैं यही सोच रही हूँ कि भाई मैं सारा वक्त चीखती रहती हूँ. I think I need to bring in calm into my tone. My husband's going to be काफ़ी हंसेंगे इस बात पे, लेकिन उन्होंने इतनी वंडरफुल चीज़ बोली कि हम भूल जाते हैं कि हम ये काम स्पेस कहीं भी क्रिएट कर सकते हैं। हमें अपने बच्चों के साथ ये करना पड़ेगा, हमें अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ ये करना पड़ेगा। मेरे पेरेंट्स जो इस वक्त समझ रहे हैं कि वो बहुत काम है, लेकिन वो काम नहीं है, दे आर वर्कaholics। सो बीइंग एट होम, उन्होंने हर कोने कूचे को साफ सुथरा कर दिया है, कबर्ड साफ कर दिए हैं, खाने पका लिए हैं, पंखे साफ कर लिए हैं। आई डोंट नो उन्होंने क्या कुछ नहीं करा है। अगर उनके पास शायद सीमेंट और बजरी होती तो वो कंस्ट्रक्शन भी शुरू कर देते घर पे। तो आई थिंक आई एम गोना डू दिस calming technique with them because they absolutely need it. So please follow this calming technique, इसको breathing exercise करें, और जो उन्होंने बताया बच्चों के लिए, it is so important, क्योंकि हम लोग काफ़ी दफ़ा सोचते रहते हैं what to do, how to do it. So let's start एक meditative circle बच्चों के साथ। अगर उनको ज़्यादा स्पूक करना है तो पीछे कुछ ट्यून्स लगा लें, जो थोड़ी सी वो जो सूदिंग ट्यून होती हैं, and modify it as per your need and as per your requirement. So thank you so much for watching and tuning in. We are going to be back tomorrow. Ramzan is approaching, so I want to know what will be the best time. मैं ये poll run करूँगी अभी कि हम लोग most probably we are only going to do one session a day, so what is going to be the best time. And कल हमारे साथ होंगे बहुत important session है 5 बजे, Umair Ahmed of Now PDP. He is going to be with us at 5 o'clock. So all those people जिनके पास इतने ढेर सारे सवालात हैं for Now PDP, and I will be putting up a post right now. Read it, समझें, उसको देखें, अपने सवालात रेडी करें, and 5 बजे ट्यून इन करें. So see you tomorrow. अपना ख्याल रखें और अपनी नींद पूरी कीजिए. खुदा हाफिज़.